whatever I'm going to share with you, keep it as your bullets so that whenever you need them, there are so many XYZ companies out there in the market. You can use it when you need them, right? So that's the whole point of sharing this session with all of you. The 15 reasons why ENAGIC has no competition. Now, it's been last 5 years that I've been associated with Kangen, and when I was going to buy my machine also, before I could buy it, my dad researched and found a lot of companies. And then I attended one such similar workshop that Mr. Samsia and Mingwei conducted. And that is where I got a lot of clarity about the product that I should actually be choosing for my family's health. So, which is what I'm so excited to share with all of you here, the 15 reasons why ENAGIC has no competition. So I just want to ask you all, right? Now, before coming into this meeting, some of y'all, you may have heard of other companies, other brands that are already promoting ionized water or something similar to that of Kangen water, right? And some of y'all, this is completely new to you. So this segment is for all of you who are with us. And before you can start off, the first thing that you need to do is to identify the different categories of competition. What are the different categories of competition? The first one is the non-machine related. The second one is a water filtration system. The third one is an alkaline water filter. And the fourth is a water ionizers. Now, these are different categories. Let's break it down and let me share it with you. The first one is a non-machine related. Now, these guys, they claim to produce something called as alkaline water. And they have a lot of benefits, XYZ and all of that, right? But what happens is the way how they make their waters alkaline is by adding something into it, which is either by putting these pills or going through this ceramic balls of filters, or could be this jug as well, where you pour a clean water here, it becomes alkaline. But ask yourself a question: when you're drinking water from these products, and which is supposedly alkaline and good for your body needs to filter out all these chemicals that you're adding into your system, right? So what happens at that time? Your kidney is filtering out all these chemicals, I can say, or all these minerals, so-called, and sooner or later it can either cause kidney damage, liver damage, or even go to the extent of forming kidney stones. Now, that is something that we don't want just for ourselves, or we don't want it for our entire family. That's why when you Google alkaline water, many of the times our people, when they see a Kangen demo, they get misled, or they remember the alkaline part and they go on Google and search for alkaline water. And you will find a ton of articles that says long-term drinking of alkaline water is nonsense, not good for your body. Now, they're talking about waters made by these devices or these products. Whereas when you look at ENAGIC machines, we go through a different process of making the water alkaline, which is an electrical charge change process. Whereas these guys go through a chemical way of making it alkaline. So one is adding something and making it alkaline, and the other one is we're splitting the water into two streams, one acidic and one alkaline. So if you're using your Kangen machine, just put in a number 2 so that you can agree with me on what I'm saying, that the water gets split and we don't add anything in the water to make it alkaline. And apart from just the alkalinity alone, there are two other properties that you get from the Kangen water, which is the antioxidation and the microclustering, that you will probably not find in any other water out there unless you go to the mountains and the springs and all the holy waters, right? So that's point number 1. So just clearly from this, you can understand that point number 1, if someone tells you that this is a competition, it's not a competition after all. Let's look at point number 2, water filtration system. Now, these are companies that produce machines that cleans the water, because in many countries, the tap water is not clean. So it's not feasible for you to drink the water directly from the tap. So what do? You need to get the water filtered first. And then this filtered water, they're just clean, but that doesn't mean it is good for your body. That means that they don't have antioxidants in them, not alkaline, and not microcluster, right? In fact, some of these systems like reverse osmosis, they even remove the minerals from the water, demineralizing the water. And WHO has published a 16-page document on the harmful effects of drinking RO water. So you can see that these guys, they are not a competition to us after all. In fact, if you know anybody selling water filters, you probably need to make them your friends, because our Kangen machines are not water filters. We need to give clean drinking water as input to the Kangen machine. And these companies, they actually help us make the water clean. So if you know anybody, just make them your friends tomorrow. They could become your sellers as well. Just like how Sam says, right? Bring in more sellers so that they help in more customers to benefit from the Kangen machine, right? So that's point number two. So these guys are not competition. You can keep them as an ally, so that you can use the pre-filter first to clean the water and then introduce that into the Kangen machine. Let's look at point number three, alkaline water filters. Now these are companies, it's a combination of one and two. That's why it's three. So when you add 1 plus 2, you get 3. So what they do is they clean the water first, go through a filtration process, and then they have a cartridge that induces minerals and makes it alkaline. So it's basically a combination of 1 and 2. There's so many companies out there in the market. In India, a lot of these companies are there. They're nothing but RO filters with just chemical induced cartridges inside. So this is point number 3. Let's look at point number 4. And this is something that all of you need to pay attention to, because these guys, they claim to produce water similar to that of our Kangen machine. And they say they're even better and cheaper. They're partially right. Yes, they are cheaper, but absolutely not better. Think about this. Something that is cheaper obviously need to be used. They use cheap quality materials. When you're using that to consume for your family's health, you wouldn't want to go in for something that is cheap. Maybe if I want to drive my car, I can put a cheap fuel, right? But I will never want to put cheap fuel into my body. If you guys agree to that, just type in agree on the chat, right? So thank you. Now, when we go out in the market, there are so many companies out there that actually, present their products. And the problem is 99% of the times, all of us, right, including myself, I've been there, I was confused. How many of you here, you were confused when you saw such companies, and probably they were so convincing that you might have even considered getting one of those machines? If yes, then just type in confused on a chat, right? Now, the reason why you guys confused is because no wonder there's so many brands out there. Most of them, they look alike, probably made in the same factory, just different brand names. So today, we're not gonna talk bad about these companies, because that's not what we do in ENAGIC. Because when you go into an ENAGIC website, right, we don't compare our products with anybody else. But when you go to their websites, all of the companies, they compare their products with Kangen. So today we're just going to open up everything that we are doing good at, and then you can take a call for yourself, whether you want to invest in ENAGIC or you want to do your research and invest in other brands, right? So that's the point here. So let's bring it down and clarify why 15 reasons ENAGIC has no competition. Starting with the first reason, we're the only ones with the ISO 13485 medical standards certificate, which what it means is that this standard is given to those companies which makes products, or the manufacturing facility, every single material used inside the machine has to be of medical standards. If not, of course, they wouldn't be receiving the certificate. And the second thing is, you may be aware of all these machines in the hospitals, in the ICUs, the heart rate monitors, and a lot of machines, the MRI scanners and all of them. The manufacturers need to have the certificate. And ENAGIC is the only one in the water industry to have this certification. And let me show you that certificate. This is the certification that is issued to our factory in Osaka, Japan. And you can say complies with the requirements of ISO 13485. And it is valid for the following scope, which is design, manufacture, sales, servicing, and distribution of electrolysis water generators for medical use. The last 3 words are the most important: for medical use. So think about this. You're getting a product where every single material or every single parts used in the product is of medical standards. And like we already, like most of you all agreed that you want to only put the best into your body. This is the best. So when I talk about that, right, A to Z, all the medical standards the company has met. And let's do a bit of a comparison here, just for fun. And let's go and look at the other companies. They always show their comparison chart, right? And they talk about their company and then ENAGIC. So in the criteria, they type in ISO, they put a tick in their company, and they put a tick in ENAGIC. But you ask them, is that ISO 13485? Unfortunately, no, because they either will have 9001 or some other certificate that's probably on how you run the company, but nothing to do with ISO medical standards for manufacturing, which is ISO 13485. That's why, if you guys remember from Mingwei, remember this number, the ISO 13485. This is a number that you all have to remember. So what it means is the other companies, they have failed to meet the expectations of the medical standards. And if that is the point, I would not even want to give a second chance. I wouldn't even give another minute talking about the other companies. I would rather just directly go with ENAGIC, and that's what we've done. And that's what all of our users, we've done, getting the machine and we started using it. So now, if I've shown this point, it already proves that A to Z, we've taken care of all the medical standards in making the device. Now, does that already mean that we are the best? If you all, how many of you all here, you feel that we are the best already? If yes, just type in best on the chat. BEST. Thank you. A lot of you all responding, right? Thank you so much. Now, since most of you all agree with me and say that we are the best, I think we can cut short the presentation and end it right here, right? Because I don't have to show you the remaining 14 points. Would you like to see the remaining 14 points? If yes, just type in 14 on the chat. Yeah, thank you. Okay, since you guys asked so nicely, I'm going to show you the rest 14, right? So let's look at point number 2. This is a Gold Seal Award from WQA, Water Quality Association. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to stop doing whatever you're doing and go to the chat and just type in WQA, or just if you can see the emoticons on the participants, just click on the clap button. Let me try doing it for myself. I don't know if I can do it. I mean, yeah. How do I do it like as myself? Never done it while presenting. So you guys can clap, you know, but wait. Now, the certificate that I'm showing you here, most of the times, right, people get you to clap for this certificate. But if you're still clapping, you can stop clapping, right? This certificate is actually a certificate of membership. It's given for all companies that are members of WQA. It doesn't mean anything. You can be a gym member or a golf club member. It doesn't mean that you're the best bodybuilder or the best golfer, right? It just means that you're a member there. The same way, ENAGIC is also a member of the WQA. Just like other companies they may be a member, I don't even know, but normally they show you the certificate. But what you should actually be clapping for is this, the Gold Seal Award or Gold Seal Certificate from the WQA Association. And this is an award given to ENAGIC. And not just one of this, but 4 of these certifications have been awarded to ENAGIC. So if you're looking at your machine, the SD501 or the K8, you see this gold logo right on top of the machine, a big logo, right? So that shows that we have the Gold Seal. Now, what is the Gold Seal? It's more or less like to do with if you look at your food and drugs, or your food department, the FDA comes into picture, which takes care of the food and drugs. When you look at the Water Quality Association, the WQA is the association, and they've awarded 4 Gold Seal awards to ENAGIC. So that's something to be really proud of. And going back to the comparison chart, what the other companies show, they put in WQA and they say they put a tick on their company and put a tick on ENAGIC as well. But you ask them if they have the Gold Seal certificate, not really, right? Whereas you can go to wqa.org and look in the search and type in ENAGIC, you will find all the certificates that ENAGIC has received from WQA, right? So that's how transparent we are. And let's look at point number 3, the only ionizer endorsed by over 6,500 Japanese Doctors Association. Now, this is a certificate given by the Japanese Association of Preventive Medicine for Adult Diseases, which states that those 6,500 doctors, they recommend and use the Kangen water for their patients. And they consider it the very best because of its all the capabilities of what the water can do. Right. And now today I'm showing you Japanese, right? The reason why we're talking about Japanese certification is because when you look at the medical industry, right, or the hospitals all across the world, most of the hospitals across the world, are they for profit or non-profit? So if profit, you just put in a P, non-profit, you put in an NP, right? Most of the hospitals across the world, right? I'm getting a lot of P's there, right? Mostly profit, right? But when you look at Japan, right? The country of Japan, the people live the longest, right? All the hospitals in Japan by government law are non-profit organization. Now, what it means is that people there, they're not, the Ministry of Health also has certified the Kangen machine as a medical device, which means that they really take care of the health and welfare of the citizens there, right? So that's basically, the point which I'm trying to show you here. And when we trying to show the certificate, the main significance of the certificate is, think about this. When we want to get any medical opinion, we go to doctors because we consider that they're expert in that field. Now, here I'm sharing with you doctors, not just any doctors, but the Japanese doctors where the people in the country live the longest, and not just one or 10 or 100 doctors, but 6,500 of such best doctors. Think about that. The volume that it speaks when I talk about this certificate alone, and they recommend it for their patients and for the population of Japan. So that's point number 3. Let's look at point number 4. The largest surface area of plates our machines have. The square inches, which is 465, that is given here, is for the SD501. SD501 is our best-selling model, right? So, but let me just show you what's the inside of the machine. Now, this is the plate, one of the plate in our machine, and this is their plate. Now, look at this. Just by looking at it, you will know that ENAGIC is the best. But you know what they say? They say that ENAGIC has only 7 plates. We have 11 plates. And not just that, we have holes in them so that we can get more surface area. But when they talk about all of these holes and all of that, I'll come to that. It's nothing but just a gimmick. Because when salt gets accumulated in all these holes, the surface area that they claim to be extra is actually useless. Whereas when you look at the plate, these are solid titanium plates coated in platinum, medical grade titanium and medical grade platinum. So when you look at this, this is when you open up the 7 plate, this is how it looks, the SD501, and this is their plates. And some companies, they even go to claim that they have like 13 plates, 21 plates. I'm not running a competition here of who has more plates. All I want is good quality water. Now, if your 21 plates is not able to give me good quality water equal to my 4-plate machine, then what's the point of buying 21 plate machine, right? So that's what we need to really look at here, is the quality of water the same? Just because they have more plates does not mean that they are good, right? So be aware of this and think about this. I'm talking about the SD501, 7 solid plates, large plates compared to 10 or 12 or 13 small plates with lots of holes in them. You can't really compare. That's like the surface area. And in fact, they try to trick you. We talk about square inches, but on their website, they put cubic centimeters because for the number to look big. So like we say 465 square inches, right? So when you convert that to cubic centimeters, it's a lot more. I mean, it will be much more. So they put in cubic centimeters just so that the number looks big, right? It's like spin theory, or they're trying to spin your mind or brainwash your mind, right? So now let's look at point number 5. Medical grade solid plates, 99% purity. This is to avoid metal poisoning. Now you can imagine that when our factory has received the certification of ISO 13485, it is so important that every single material that goes inside the machine from the start till the end has to be of medical standards, including the purity of platinum and titanium. Now, there are companies which say that they also have titanium and platinum, but you ask them what percentage of their plates is made of titanium and platinum. It will be hardly 5-10% because they have a lot of alloys like white gold, aluminum, stainless steel. They all mixed together, and that's how they make their plates. Whereas here, it's just 2 metals. One is pure titanium and double dipped in pure platinum, right? So that's about it. And you can see the manufacturing assembly, every single thing is of the medical standards until the end finished product. So think about this, right? Without meeting all of this, we would not get the 13485 certification, right? So let's move to the next one. Point number 6, track record of 46 years. The company has been around for 1974, like since 1974, and for 46 years. And just ask yourself a question. A company that has been around for 46 years and not making any other appliances like washing machine, refrigerator, TV, No, they've been making ionizers from day one. And if you look at the company track record, they were first making machines for hospitals in Japan. And after that, they started making the domestic model. So do you think Enagic knows what they're talking about? If yes, just put in Enagic on the chat. If you know that Enagic, they know what they're talking about and they know their stuff. So many companies, they have their counter against this as well. Like every point that we bring in the reality, they're trying to spin off and trying to gimmick that as well. They say that Enagic is 46 years old, they're outdated. We are latest, state of the art, fourth generation technology you buy from us. I want to ask you guys something, that when you want to look at your health, would you want to invest in something that is proven, something that is already was used in hospitals and still continue to use in hospitals, or something that is new and they're testing it on new? Which one would you want to use, something proven or something new? Proven or new? Just put it on the chat. Proven, right? Look at that. Now, this is so true in, like, when it comes to something that you consume, right? So this is the point number 6. Let's look at point number 7, direct from Japanese manufacturers. Now, all our machines, they're made in only one facility in the whole world, which is in Osaka, Japan. And from start to finish, it's made under one roof, one facility. Now, there are companies that also have counter to this as well. They say that we are an American company, but when you look at it, right, the company is American, but the products are made in China or Korea or Taiwan. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that, that factory which makes products for this American or European company also makes parts for other companies as well. So they're just buying it from a company that's making the parts and they're assembling it and they're selling it. So when you're buying a product from an XY brand, you're getting a warranty from the retailer or from the reseller or from the assembler. It's not a manufacturer's warranty, right? And not only that, here you're buying it directly from the manufacturer. That means when you pay for your machine, you're paying it to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer delivers it directly to you. And so far in the world, we have over 40 offices across 23 countries, right? Every single office is managed and run by the Japanese themselves. So you can see that if the company is involved in it, right? Now the company has a lot more at stake to lose. Now, they would not want to risk it, right? But whereas in other companies, because it's a reseller or an assembler, if they start getting customer complaints, what happens is they stop selling it, they change the brand name, they put a brand name, but the product is the same, a different brand name, that's it, and they sell it to their customers, right? So that's what happens. This is some of the photos that we took during my last visit to the factory in Osaka, Japan, with some of our team members, and you can see everything inside is so clean. And unfortunately, when we were inside, there were some areas where we cannot take photos, so I was not able to like capture that. But it's a must visit. If you can, you must visit the Japanese factory. And I asked them one question, that why is it that most of the Japanese products are always the best quality? And you know what they said? They said that because we treat our customers as God, and we don't want to cheat God. So that's why our products are always the best. So that really, touched. And literally, when I was in the factory, every single staff I met, instead of saying hi, hello, I was saying thank you naturally. It was coming out from me within, right? Because of the lives that has, like in my family, the health that is, transformed in our lives, and the number of families that we have helped. Naturally, I was saying thank you, right? Don't you think that's an amazing thing? I mean, that's an amazing achievement by the company, right? So that's point number 7. Let's look at point number 8. Does not overheat within an hour of non-stop ionization. Our machines, you can run it for hours together and still will not overheat. It will still produce the same quality of water what it produced in the first minute of running the machine. Whereas other companies, because they use cheap quality materials, if they run it for a long time, the metals will overheat. And what they do is, to prevent that from happening, they introduce a feature called as temperature shutdown. And they say that this is a feature that we have and ENAGIC does not have. So you buy from us. But when you look at it, this is just a flaw that they're trying to cover by putting in a setting, which is the machine shuts down when after like 10 minutes or 15 minutes of running. And what happens if that feature goes for a toss? I mean, the feature just stops working. It can cause metal poisoning to your water, right? And you can see how the plates will look like when they start burning. I would not want to risk even a single day for my family to drink this. And consider this: we're promoting the Kangen business now. If my I'm at more risk because if I share a bad product to my people, then my reputation and my respect and everything will be shattered, right? That's why these guys, they can fool a buyer, but they cannot fool someone who's trying to do a business out of a water ionizer, right? But ENAGIC, we all are so happy doing the ENAGIC business because the product does what it says. I mean, what we say, it exactly does it, right? So that's point number 8. Let's look at point number 9. Biggest and fastest water flow, 6 liters per minute. Depending on your input flow rate, the machine can produce up to 6 liters of water per minute. That does not mean that you give in 2 liters, it gives you 6 liters per minute, right? It's a matter of sense there. So that's the fastest in the industry. But let's look at other companies. Now this is the main hose, the main hose of the SD501, and this is the secondary hose, the primary and the secondary hose. And this is their primary hose and their secondary hose. Just by the look of it, you can see that the secondary hose is bigger than the primary hose. Why do they have to do this? Because the size of the plates are smaller. In order for the water to be even slightly ionized, they have to run the water at a very slow flow so that it is at least ionized. And not only the plates are small, right, or not only they reduce the size of the pipes, but they also put in another feature called as the auto flow control valve. Now this valve is inserted in the machine to control or to restrict the amount of water that flows through the ionizer. And they say that ENAGIC does not have it, we have it, so you have to buy from us. But I tell you something, that the controller in the ENAGIC machines is in your hand. However fast or slow you want, you can operate the machine at that speed. And just put both the machines at the same flow rate, and the amount of antioxidants that you'll see in the Kangen machines will blow your mind. And the time that the water lasts, it lasts a very long time. Whereas I've tested these waters, you collect it after 5 minutes, it's positive. What's the point of it ionizing even, like, if it cannot retain the properties for even 5 to 10 minutes? So that's point number 9. Let's look at point number 10. Only ionizer producing up to pH 11.5 and pH 2.5. Our machines are the only ones that can produce up to this range and effectively, not just produce it, but effectively giving you the results. And let's look at what the other companies have to say. This is what they have to say. They say that danger, be careful. ENAGIC is putting you in a trap. The SD501 can produce toxic gases, which in the worst case may explode. And they say that, toxic chemicals are required to make the strong Kangen water. Now, for those of you all who are using the Kangen machine, in order to produce the strong Kangen water and the strong acidic water, we add a solution, which is called the enhancer solution. Let me show you what are the ingredients in the solution. First of all, the first ingredient is processed water, like clean water. And the second ingredient is sodium chloride. Now, for those of you all who know nothing about science, when you hear this name sodium chloride, it's natural for you to be scared. But let me tell you something, right? This guy, he builds up on your fear and he says that this is an hazardous, very dangerous substance. But those of you all who don't know what sodium chloride is, it's commonly known as table salt, the salt that we use for daily cooking. Right now, if salt was dangerous, then I don't think we can be using it in our homes on a daily basis. That's the second ingredient. Let's look at the third ingredient, sodium hypochlorite. Even more scary, even more longer. And this guy says it's a volatile substance, so be careful. Now, just looking at what sodium hypochlorite is commonly known as, it's nothing but chlorine or bleach. There's so much of chlorine added in our tap water that some places I can even smell the chlorine in the tap water. So just going by all of this, you can clearly see that, they're just trying to spin off, right? Give you some information to make you feel afraid. And these are some of the key facts that we want to share with you. The use of sodium chloride in the enhancer is a unique selling point. The quantity of sodium hypochlorite in one bottle of enhancer is less than 0.004%. That means 99.996% it's just salt water. And this hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide to the effectiveness of 11.5 and 2.5 pH. So I just want to share with you something. This is what exactly goes inside the machine when you are producing your strong waters. Simply, if you, this is all like Greek and Latin for some of you all. This is the formula of water plus salt, sodium chloride, which gives you pH 11.5 and pH 2.5. Very simple, right? Now, without the salt, we cannot produce this 11.5 and 2.5 pH, right? And there are companies that claim they produce 12.1 pH. Try to mix their water with oil, it will not mix, it will not emulsify the oil. So no matter what they claim is of no use, right? Whereas here, the 11.5 pH effectively removes all the harmful pesticides, and 2.5 pH is used as a sanitizer or a sterilizer, right? So when you look at this solution alone, we don't drink these two waters. In fact, the company recommends us not to consume these waters. And this is only introduced into the machine for producing these two waters. For the drinking water, this is not even introduced into the machine. And some people are worried, oh, they add salt in the machine, so there will be some salt deposits, and if you don't take it out, the salt deposits gets mixed into your drinking water. Now when these companies, the so-called imitators, when they can think about it, don't you think a 46-year-old company with medical standards of manufacturing would have thought about it? So they've thought about it, and the solution to that is every time you run the 11.5 and 2.5 pH, you want to go back to the drinking water, the machine goes through a cleaning process for at least 30 seconds. It's cleaning, it's flushing out all the salt that probably could have deposited in the machine, in the plates. So that's how efficient the machines are, right? And um, and not only they have that auto cleaning process, but also we have a e-cleaning system that you need to do at least monthly once. Takes you about 5 minutes. And this cleaning system, the method is patented by our company. So let me show you other companies which don't have this cleaning system, what happens to their plates after a long use. This is what they show on their website, but after real use, about a year or so, this is what happens, right? The plates are breaking because of too much salt. And what happens when there's a lot of salt deposited on the plates, and when there's electricity passing through, it breaks it down, because salt is a good conductor of electricity, and it breaks down the plates because the plates are of cheap materials. You can understand that. And this is a 1-year-old Athena from the same photo that I showed you before. You can see this is the pH of the tap water, and the acidic and the alkaline water both are neutral. That means the tap water is alkaline and these two waters are neutral. So obviously this machine is not working, right? Whereas when you take the Kangen water, I've been using it for almost 5 years now, and we have Mingwei, Mr. Sam's here using it for more than 10 years. And I've even seen the oldest machines like 26 years old. It's still giving the same quality of water even today, right? So that's how efficient we are. And you can look at these companies, because they don't have a cleaning system, it starts rusting. A lot of toxic metals, when they burn, the metals go into your water. A lot of hazard, I mean harmful things that can happen. And here you can see these two plates, although they look alike, and these companies, they call it a hybrid plate. So you can see holes in them, and also they're somewhat solid. So what happens is the holes, this salt goes and deposits inside, and this is how it looks. And this is our plate. Because there are no holes in it, it's very easy to clean and etc. And it's a solid plate. So some more photos. Let's look at point number 12, not affected by hard water. Our machines are not affected by hard water. You can run it through hard water. Most of India, we have hard water here. And some places, there are a lot of lime scaling and all of that. Still, we use the machine, right? Because we do the cleaning monthly once, the machine gives you the same result. Let's look at point number 13, up to 230 watts of power. Now, it's very simple. In order for your water to be strongly ionized and to give you the results, and also to last a longer time, it makes sense to apply more power on the ionizer, right? So when you look at ENAGIC, we're the highest wattage in the industry. 230 watts of power we can apply during the electrolysis process, because the materials we use inside are medical grade, and the boiling temperature, or the boiling point for platinum and titanium, is running in 1,000 degrees. I mean, of course, we're not going to run our water in thousands of degrees, but what I'm trying to say here is that the plates can withstand the what do you say, the electricity, and produce the optimum amount of quality of Kangen water. But when you look at the other companies, they always try to cheat you with this. They say that we are, what do you say? We give, um, well, they use a word. I'm not getting the word. It's average of 200 watts or something like that. Sometimes they're even 60 watts. Sometimes they're 120 watts, right? So what happens, because they go through a process called alternating current, it's, you need to take a mean average of the current that is flowing through. So sometimes when you open the tap, the current in between the plates is 60 watts, and then when it is, what do you say, sometimes it's 120 watts. So it's not really 120 watts of power that you're getting, it's an average of 60 and 120, which is somewhere around, I feel, 100, maybe 80 to 100. Whereas here it's a constant power of 230 watts. This is called linear current. You can look it up. I mean, I don't want to sound too sciencey, or too much of technology here, but just telling you that it's a constant power, it's not alternating power, right? Think about this. This is an X brand car and the BMW. Even if you like look at 100 or 1,000 of these cars, right, one BMWs will last much longer and with the same performance of what it used to be giving. In fact, one of our friends, he just bought like a very, very old, he'll be coming on later to speak. I don't know which year it was, the BMW, very old, but is really performing very good. Maybe he can speak about it later, Thomas, right? So I mean, that's very much simple here. You want to get one device for the rest of your life, and not only for your life, but even for the upcoming generations. That is what our CEO, Mr. Oshiro, says. This will be the only water machine that you'll have to invest in your entire lifetime. Who likes that? If you like that, then just type in the only one. The only one. Yeah, thank you. Just the only one machine that you need for your entire lifetime and for upcoming generations. You don't need to keep buying like one machine today and after 2 years another machine. That's what the other companies are targeting towards, right? So someone says one lifetime partner. Yes, Kangen machine is like that, right? So let's look at 14 long machine lifespan, 15 to 25 years. Because of all the things that I've shared with you, our machines can easily last you 25 plus years, right? We can only claim to the extent of what's already proven. So the domestic model has been around for 25 over years, right? But if you come back after 10 years, we'll still be doing these workshops, and you see probably the numbers would have gone up to 35 years then, right? So that's how long our machines can last. And the last but not the least, 5 years of warranty covers all parts and labor. So our machines, the SD50 and the K8 comes with 5 years warranty, covers all parts and labor. And the most important thing is this is a manufacturer warranty, not a retailer or an assembler warranty. So the other companies is just a retailer's warranty. So when the company shuts down and they start a new company, the warranty from the old company is useless. So whereas here, this is from the ENAGIC company directly, so you can use this warranty and yeah, make use of it. I've been using it for 5 years now. Never needed the, I've never taken my machine to the office so far. With so many, users, never had a need to take the machine to the office, right? So if you're one of them, just put in the amount of time that you've been using the Kangen machine. For how long have you been using the Kangen machine? Just put on the chat how long you've been using the Kangen machine, right? So great, a lot of numbers. 2.5 years, 2 weeks. Welcome, welcome. Very new. 33 months, 4 years, 8 years, 9, 10, 6 years. Look at that, right? Now, so the conclusion of this exercise or this workshop, especially this topic, is the competition is not so scary after all. Lack of knowledge about the competition is the biggest problem. So take your time, do your research, act like you've invested $1 million instead of just $4,000, right? And and make the most use of it. And like Sam said, right, the product works. It's just that how many more families can you help? So make use of the sellers and just go spread this word. Keep all of the points that I've shared with you as a bullet. You don't have to just give away everything to your prospect. Just keep them as and when you need them and use it to your advantage and to the customer's advantage as well. So that, don't let your prospects become victims of the competition. Educate them, empower them, and let them know that you represent the gold standard. so that they can also join the gold standard family. So with that, thank you so much.